You don't have to mention. You don't have to say my full name. Just
Hello and welcome to the Nighthawk Racing hashtag F1 RST Championship. I'm Sarah Hawkins, also known as Sarah Hawkey, and I will be your host this evening and one of your co-commentators for this GT7 base championship. I am joined by motorsport enthusiast, racer and co-commentator Kirk. Take it away, Kirk. Yeah, me too. So tonight we're at Autopolis for our second official event. We have an 8-event championship spanning 16 race sessions. This spans 8 weeks, 13 different manufacturers, potentially 20 plus drivers, 5 legendary grade 1 circuits and 3 classic tracks from the world of Gran Turismo. The format for tonight is what we saw last week, so we have 3 official time sessions with qualifying up first, followed by our first racing session with a reverse grid sprint race. We will then be treated to a 33 lap feature race this week, all at the tricky track known as Autopolis, a difficult track to master. Okay, Kurt, could you give us an overview of the event session formats, please? Yeah, of course. So, in the qualifying, you get points for qualifying first, second and third. This ranges from 3 points to first place, 2 points for second place and 1 point for third place. Third place, sorry. Both drivers that get the fastest lap in both the sprint race and the feature race will get 2 points each. This could be the same driver, could be a different driver. Last week, obviously, we had two different drivers setting the fastest lap points. So although it's only 2 points, those 2 points could come in handy towards the end of the championship. But in the sprint race, the first place points start at 20 points and then work their way all the way down to 2 points for 14th place. Similar to that, on the feature race, this is almost doubled. So first place gets 40 points and then all the way down to 4 points for 14th place. So a lot of points up for grabs. Everyone gets a point, which I think is good here. No one goes pointless. But yes, we will then move on to the driver's cards. So starting off. So Kirk, many of the drivers here you and I know very well and have raced against and have enjoyed many a great moment with, both on and off track over the years since the days of GT Sport. But let's introduce our drivers and hear some details about them for our viewers. Over to you, Kirk. Yep, on to Kai. There we are. On to Kulios. Yep. Well, I think we are experiencing some technical difficulties. I'm not sure if you can hear Kirk or not. Let me just check.
Mistakes like what cost him last week, and looking to hopefully get more again, trying to beat Kulios or possibly Keegan Kai to a second or a third place finish. He will be streaming this event tonight as well, also I've been told. So just head over to his channel on Twitch, Manly, and you should be able to stream from his point of view. Moving on to 30.
Yeah. If you could. Kirk, could you go back to Katie the Kai and Kulios, because I'm not sure if people could hear you, but I've...
Alright, no problem. I can go for that again.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Going
So
on, but yeah, Swizzy. No problem. So this is our championship leader so far after our first event. He's so far leading the way on 64 points, winning both our sprint and feature race last week. Swizzy showed us how just brutal speed. That's all it is for Swizzy, speed, and once he got into the front of the pack, there was no looking back for him. He ran everything to perfection, and he'll be looking to do much of the same this week. If you want to, oh Sarah, I think we're starting qualifying.
yeah, we'll just run through these. We'll let them qualify, and then we'll join them in just a second. Okay.
No, exactly. Yeah, you want to move on to KD to Kai?
Yep.
Yeah, Kai. Second in our standing on 50 points. After taking fourth place in our sprint race and second in our feature race last week, I'm sure he'll be looking at much of the same. Probably hoping to finish both races on the podium and hoping to beat Swizzy as well. Trying to claw back some points that he's lost to Swizzy against our last event. We'll move on to Koulios.
There we are. On to Koulios.
Yeah, Koulios. Third in the standings on 45 points. My personal driver of the event last week drove an unbelievable sprint race last week, securing a P3 finish, and basically did much the same in the feature race, finishing fourth. He'll be open to continue his glowing form tonight, and looking at possibly sneaking to another podium. After that, we have Manley.
Yep.
Manley, fourth in our standings so far on 41 points. Manley, after a disappointing sprint race, where he span early, ended up recovering up to P8. While in the feature race, he showed his true ability and secured a comfortable third place finish. This week, he'll be open to keep it much of the same, keep it clean, keep it consistent, and I'm sure another podium or two will follow tonight. I think he'll also be trying to keep closer to KD the Kai and Swizzy. He is also streaming this event tonight on his Twitch, twitch.com/Manly, if you guys want to look at his point of view on that. Moving on to Bertie.
Yep, all good.
Bertie is fifth in our standings after our first event on 35 points. I feel Big Crazy Bertie went under the radar in both sprint race, both our sprint and feature race, qualifying a respectable P4, and finishing fifth in our sprint race and sixth in our feature race respectively. Both being stellar drives, and this time I'll be expecting more of the same, and another possible drive where he sneaks into the top 5 again. Moving on to Lee.
Yep, on to Lee now.
Yep, Lee being sixth in our standard on 31 points, finishing an unfortunate 12th in the sprint race due to a spin, and finishing fifth in our feature race, possibly showing us hints of where his pace truly lies if he can keep it clean, which around this circuit might be quite difficult to do. And then moving on to Sim Racing Dude.
Yep, on to Sim Race Dude now.
Sim Race Dude.
Yep.
Seventh place overall in our standings on 30 points. After finishing both a solid P7 in both our feature and our sprint race, I can't help but wonder if he'll be able to break the top 5 this week at Autopolis. If you want to take it away, Sarah.
Yep, so on to Stephen. Stephen, the fellow 911 driver on the grid, had a very surprising performance at the high-speed ring, bringing the fight to people around him, such as Sim Race Dude, and showing real pace against lapping cars such as McManley. One to watch today. His points currently stand at 24 points, and he's 9th in the championship standings. And then on to Fred. Fred in the AMG again showing a lot of pace last week, running quite high on the grid for a while. Can he do the same this week? His points currently stand at 22 points, and he's 10th in the championship standings. And then next up is Deadline. Deadline will be looking for an impressive showing here, so long as his wheel can stay attached to the motor tonight. Keep an eye out for him as he's very experienced and on the way up. Binny's unfortunately not racing tonight, but taking his place as a reserve is Jabril. Usually we see him on GTA. Let's see how he gets on tonight. Very last minute call, so best of luck today, Jabril. And then on to Nick, our resident Netherlands contingent. Nick, or Nevi, is here helping to build up the community and enjoy racing. I personally look forward to seeing Nick's race in action. Again, great to see him on the grid tonight and debuting in a car we consider as the dark horse, which is the R01, as it was surprisingly good in testing. Again, best of luck, Nick. Over to Pedro. So Pedro, also a member of the Nighthawk Racing admin team and an all-round amazing person, always there to help behind the scenes when needed. Pedro is a wizard when it comes to creating liveries. He's in charge of the designs and the livery templates for this season, even designing a few liveries that we get to see on track tonight. He is also one of our Portuguese delegates. He's our reigning 2023 Nighthawk Pre-GP champion as well, and competes in different leagues such as TTT, TTR and TWR. He is quick on controller and will easily secure a top 5 if not a podium position with his raw pace and strategy calls. Debuting here tonight in the Genesis, best of luck Pedro. And finally, to round up the driver cards is our one and only Luke Taylor, also known as Midnight. He's the co-founder of the Nighthawk Racing. He was here in the commentary box last week, but as we're both alternating, it's his time to hit the track tonight. And we all know he's here to have some fun, probably annoy the top half of the grid with his unique strategies and ability to usually stay out of trouble. Tonight he'll be driving the McLaren 650S in his iconic red and black colours, and he's also a recent TTR World Endurance Championship Group 3 champion. Best of luck, Midnight. So, looks like we have an interesting grid for tonight. As mentioned last week, we have a couple different drivers this week debuting at Autopolis. Excited to see what they can do on track. Can any of them beat the top runners and step on to the podium? As I previously said tonight, the grid does look strong to me. It looks like we will see battles throughout the field too, with lots of equally talented drivers. Kirk, what are your thoughts on the upcoming event and who do you expect to be strong?
Regular top 5. So we're talking about our Manley, Koulios. I think it'll be quite close between them two. And it'll be interesting to see where Jabril can slot into this. Obviously, an unknown taking part in his first race with us in this format. You know, is he going to be able to use in that Subaru? Is he going to be able to keep them tyres alive, especially on them softs? You know. And then that goes into as well, tyre choice. Do you take the advantage of the soft tyres off the line and for the first 2 or 3 laps where you'll be absolutely flying away? But Autopolis, obviously very technical circuit, especially in that middle and final sector where you'd need front and rear traction to really eke a decent time out. I feel this could be anyone's race tonight. Personally, I'm probably leaning more towards Swizzy, as obviously we've seen Swizzy always seems to have absolutely mental pace. But I think my top 3 tonight will be Swizzy, Kai, Pedro for our feature race, and for our sprint race, I think we could see people like Midnight, Luke, Fred, Koulios. You know, never count Koulios out. He can always pop up somewhere. And I think Erty as well could be right up there for a half-decent result tonight.
Yeah.
What about you, Sarah?
I'd say the same. I think, like you say, the GTR is a very well-balanced car. It should be pretty good performance-wise as well. Obviously, we were surprised by the RX Visions last week. Not sure if this track is in their favour this time around, but maybe I don't know, maybe the McLarens. The McLarens seemed pretty good last week, and obviously Midnight, like I said, he usually picks out some weird strategies, but they usually work out for him. So expecting a good result from him. And I'm also intrigued to see how Pedro gets on in the Genesis. Not a car that we see very often, so we don't really know much about it. So hopefully he gets a good result as well. But just to round off before we go on to qualifying, we'll do quickly some track facts as we see Swizzy going round. So, tonight we're at Autopolis, a difficult track to master as I said. The track itself is a real life track which opened in 1990 and is over 4.5 kilometres or 2.9 miles approximately, with 19 corners. The circuit is located in an upland area of the island, which means the air is thin with low atmospheric pressure. It has an elevation change of over 30 metres or 160 feet, with the first sector generally downhill and the latter part of the course runs uphill. The start-finish straight is located at an altitude of 820 metres or 2,690 feet. The circuit was designed by Yoshitsushi Sakurai, who was the project leader of the Honda F1 team during the 1960s. To promote the venue's intention to host a Formula One race, it sponsored the Benetton Formula One team in 1990 and 1991. The cars featured prominent Autopolis logos. Autopolis was purchased by Kawasaki in 2005, and the circuit currently holds events for the Super GT, as well as Drift Grand Prix, Super Formula, Superbike events and various endurance events. In 2019, Autopolis was added into GT Sport. For me, it's always been a difficult and tricky track to get right. The first corner especially is crucial to get right, as if taken too fast because of the main straight or wheels placed just an inch incorrectly, there is no barrier to catch you around here. You are straight into the sand, and this is where drivers will lose a lot of time just trying to get out of the sand. The second sector is also quite difficult, with several twisty turns and other cars to be aware of. Might mean that the track will feel quite tight, although exit speeds will be important when facing your competitors. The third and final sector also proves difficult, with a massive downhill section to begin with, which then leads on to the final few corners. Again, pit stops, fuel and tyre wear being high, consistency will be massively rewarded around here. Kirk, what about you? What are your thoughts about this track?
I absolutely adore Autopolis. This track has a bit of everything. A fast first sector, slower, more technical second sector, with obviously there were two straights in between, with that massive downhill drop, and then obviously in the final sector again, going uphill, you got to use the camber of the circuit, to keep the car in tight to the corners. It has, as I said, it has a bit of everything. I think tonight, cars that have good rotation, so stuff like the 911 can do really well here. Obviously, some of this set track requires really good change of direction, which will help. Obviously, being rear-engined. Yeah, I think my first time I encountered this track was on Need for Speed Pro Street, and obviously it's been a love story ever since. I absolutely adore, as a supporter, I absolutely adore this track. I think we're going to see some fantastic racing, maybe a few to overtake going into turn one, obviously slipstreaming down the front straight, maybe a dive to that uphill hairpin before you enter the third sector, and I mean, people right up tucked in between, right up in behind, tucked up behind each other in obviously the twisty second sector, and looking for a place to overtake in their third sector.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to quali, Sarah.
Yeah, although we have joined quali right at the end, but we can obviously show you the results. And like we say, this is my first time doing the commentary, so they're bound to have a few mistakes, few technical issues, which is just normal for me apparently. But we'll wait for everyone to go round. But currently, it looks like our reserve driver in Jabril has took pole position. Obviously, Swizzy and Kai in the pits.
I just add that Swizzy qualified, well, not Swizzy, Jabril qualified on the soft tyres compared to Swizzy and Katie Kai's mediums.
Yep, so obviously going for that quick time, but will that prove to be beneficial in the sprint race? Will he have to pit potentially because of the soft tyres? Will they last to the end? Oh, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the soft runners maybe pull away for the first 2-3 laps, and then obviously we're going to see the medium runners obviously start closing them in as they were. I think Jabril's really got to take advantage of being at the front in our feature race tonight, and really use those tyres to his advantage.
So yeah,
As we see our results, we have our sprint race first, which is reverse qualifying order. So that will see Nick, Steve, and Bertie take our top 3 for the sprint race.
kudos saying who chose this track. Right, so yeah, obviously reverse race for the sprint race. So, like Kirk said, we have Nick taking pole position for the sprint race. Then Stephen, Bertie, Koulios, Deadline, Lee. And then if you want to run from Fred to Jabril for me, Kirk.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got Fred, who will be starting, was that P7 for our sprint race? Luke starting 8th, same race dude starting 9th, McManley starting 10th, Pedro 11th, Kaif 12th, Twizzy 13th, and Jabril 14th. Who do you think? Do you think we'll see some of the front runners come up towards the front, and how long do you think it'll take them to get there, Sarah?
Ooh. Knowing this track, probably a few laps. Let everyone get into the groove of the track. Kind of, I guess, in a way, learn each other's lines, etc. So no one's kind of running anyone off the track. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes. But we know their pace. I don't think it would take them very long. But obviously, before we go to the sprint race, just to run over, for the feature race, this will be the grid that will be set. So it will run in this order here. So it will be Jabril, Swizzy, Kai, then Pedro, McManley, Simrace Dude, Midnight, Fred, then Lee, Deadline, Koulios, Bertie, Stephen and Nick. And just a quick reminder to all the drivers out there, if you're listening, with the feature race, it's an open tyre choice. You can choose for the sprint race, sorry, it's an open tyre choice. You can choose whatever tyre you want for that one. Although for the feature race, that's a slightly different story. So the fastest time you set in qualifying here on your certain tyres, you have to use those tyres at the start of the feature race. So for example, with Jabril that qualified on softs, he'll have to start on softs for the feature race. And just make sure that all drivers pick the correct tyres for the start of the feature race. And also for the feature race to use at least 2 compounds of tyres. So for example, softs and mediums, or mediums and hards, whatever your strategy entails. But obviously we don't want any penalties for not using the correct set of tyres, okay? Apart from that, little rant over and we'll get into the sprint race. And obviously, like I said, it's my first go, so there's going to be a few mistakes, but thank you for bearing with us. And next time, obviously, we'll iron out those mistakes. And it was very rushed from my point of view, trying to get everything ready today. So I appreciate everyone and your patience, and like I said, next time I'll be a little bit more prepared. But yeah, as Nick takes us up to the line, we're about to start the sprint race. Are you ready, Kirk?
Absolutely. I think we're going to see Koulios and Bertie do quite well here.
Yeah. Will Stephen go into the inside of Nick here? Oh, yep, no he has. So Stephen takes the lead. Looks like everyone's just got around. Yep, no casualties into turn 1. That's pretty good.
Yes, we got going to turn 2. Got all going kicking off back here. We've got Lee up the inside of Fred as he go past. A bit argy-bargy there between Fred and Deadline, but nothing too much. We've got 3 wide with Fred,
Yeah.
Manley, and Midnight. Midnight trying to hold it around the outside of Fred, coming into the sweeping left-hander. We've got Koulios trying to cut inside of Stephen Stephen for the lead, and I think really materialised from that. We're running up to the hairpin, and we've got everyone's following a single file. We have a few people taking a vote. Fred lunged it down inside of Lee. And who's that gone round? We had Deadline, who's possibly been hit and tagged round. Which obviously not what you really want to see, but he could have just lost it by himself. I didn't quite get to see that.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened
If you
there.
saw it, Sarah.
No, I didn't quite catch that. I was looking at the middle. Something for the stewards to look at afterwards.
Interesting to see. Our highest medium runner right now is Lee in P5, which would be interesting to see if he can hold it. As these soft runners, all tyres all sort of wearing out.
Yeah, I'm surprised that a lot of people went for softs in this race. Obviously, in our demos towards the end of last year, I went on the softs and they burnt really quickly at some of the tracks that we went to. Koulios has gone round. Oh, that was close. That was very close to hitting Stephen in first there. I just logged on to see that happen. Unfortunate for Koulios. Like I say, that turn 1, I'm going to call that the casualty corner tonight, because I fear that a lot of people, because there's no barrier there to catch you and you're seeing the apex as you get there, it is quite hard to get right. So I don't know, I feel that's where we're going to see a lot of mistakes happen today.
Koulios round again, picking up some front damage. Oof.
Yeah, and obviously
it looks like he just got enough throttle a bit too much, picked it in the hairpin and just looped it round. You've got Katie, Kai and Sim Racing do going side by side. Well, in Lee, Twizzy trying around the outside of Lee, looking for the cutback as we run down the hill. Don't quite get it, and Lee, there's no, not quite yet. Twizzy, you have to hold you up a bit longer. Run Twizzy out of road. Yeah, but up front, it looks like we've got Stephen, followed by Fred, followed by Muckman Lee, Bertie, and Luke, or Midnight as we see him, running out our top 5.
Yep, the 2 McLarens together.
Everyone on the top 5.
Just caught that. I think Deadline did a pretty nice drift towards the back of that pack there. Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well, Squirrel.
Absolute gaggle of cards. So is he trying to look around the outside, prioritising his exit onto the straight? Here we are, using the GTR power up the inside of Lee coming down the front straight. Is he going to be able to outbrake Lee into turn 1?
I think he is 3 wide.
Make it 3 wide. Smartly backs out. Does he back out? Or maybe a little bit.
Very clean racing there by everybody.
Yeah. Swizzy is now been unleashed. If you're Bertie, Luke, Muckmanley, Stephen or Fred, are you feeling nervous now when you see, who's that running wide? Stephen ran wide.
Oh no, dropping right down the order.
Not good for his race. Not good for his race, and pops him just out in front of Swizzy. But obviously with them dirty tyres, is he going to be able to hold Swizzy behind?
Oh, it's going to be difficult. We all know how hard it is to keep Swizzy behind.
Luke's round. Midnight's round.
Right into the wall as well. Very lucky.
Just ran a bit wide coming on out the exit of that's really long left-hander, and obviously he's just gone off. We've had another spinner. We've had Stephen spin again.
Seems like the first few laps.
Hate to see it.
Yeah, the first few opening laps of the race is. Do you reckon that's purely everyone getting used to this difficult track? Obviously, knowing when to put the throttle on, when to brake. Do you reckon everyone's kind of still trying to figure it out as they go?
Yeah, obviously, most of our drivers haven't if they have practiced, they haven't really been practicing pack racing around this track. So obviously, it could be caught out by other people's braking points. Their markers could have been wiped out. A multitude of reasons. We see McManley making a pass for the lead, trying to go around the outside of Fred into turn one. Fred outbreaks him a little bit, sticks it up the inside.
Oh, the two
McManley trying to
AMGs
hold it
going
around the
together.
outside and going down to turn two. Around, yeah, running down together towards turn three now, technically. Can Fred hold it against McManley? He breaks later. He gets that position, but McManley
Oh,
tucks inside and he what a switchback by McManley there. McManley now our leader of our sprint race. But I'm looking at them, looking at McManley's sauce, and they're looking quite beaten. They're looking quite worn compared to the drivers behind him, especially with Swizzy only 3 seconds back. I think this is still anyone's race, Sarah. What do you think?
yeah. I wouldn't like to call it at the moment. I think, like you say, it could be anyone's race at the moment, especially with how bad the tyre wear is 4 laps in. Um, as we saw last week, Swizzy is quite good when it comes to, although he says he wasn't, he is quite good with tyre wear in that GTR. Maybe he's kind of mastered how the GTR feels when it's at low tyre wear. And obviously being on the mediums as well, it might prove the faster tyre here because he can just hang on that little bit longer compared to the softs that are in front of him currently.
And now, yes, Swizzy's unleashed as well. The gap to leaders now only 3.5 seconds. If I'm Fred or McManley, I wouldn't be getting my head down and gone.
Oh, 100%. And obviously we've got the two AMGs together, the two GTRs together. Seems like they come in pairs.
Yeah, two Mercedes followed by two Nissans followed by McLaren. I was looking down further in the pack. We've got Pedro making a move in Jabril. The inside of Jabril going down to turn one. Yeah, an easy move in the end. Jabril didn't really fight out too much. Pedro looking for a better
No,
exit
yeah,
than
Pedro's still on the inside.
are we gonna attempt a free wide? Are we? Can Jabril hold it around the outside? Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there between Pedro and Lee, but yeah, Jabril around the outside. We take one Jabril around the outside.
Around the outside.
You can make another one. Yeah. I'm looking at Jabril. Jabril's dropped about half a second to McManley in the first half of the sector.
Yeah. Obviously, we haven't seen much from Jabril, but in that Subaru so far, it seems to be doing pretty well. All things considered, being a last-minute call-up. Right on the back of Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A very impressive debut so far for him. Although them soft tyres are looking slightly second hand right now.
Yep. As you just go back to McManley up in first, he's now 2.8 seconds down the road. So, do you reckon it's safe, or do you reckon you'd keep pushing?
I wouldn't say it's safe until I see the checker flag, especially not with a driver of Swizzy's caliber, being the person who's facing me down. Although we might see Kai. Oh no, Kai lifts off. He's happy to give Swizzy a bit more time to overtake Fred before or he thinks of making his move.
Oh, so yeah, Fred has dropped right back.
Contract between Jabril and Pedro is what I thought. Turn one.
Yeah, both waiting for each other, I believe. Yep, both have got going again. Definitely ones for stewards to look at.
Yeah, especially it'd be interesting to see what happened there. Oh, we've got Fred trying to go past Lee again. I say Lee's an impressive defensive drive here from Lee.
Yeah, we're doing
Very
really well.
impressive sprint race for him. Oh, we see Swizzy is past. Yeah, what happened there at the front? Sarah, you on board with it all?
No, I'm not on board with them currently. McManley's obviously 3.8 seconds down the road. I feel like somewhere Fred must have spun or went off track slightly because he dropped right down, which obviously that then led to Swizzy and KG the Kai being on the hunt for McManley now. But like you say, those soft tyres of McManley do look like they've seen better days.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, Fred's probably got the most worn tyres in our top 10 right now. Yeah, I see. Well, as I say that, McManley just set his new personal best. Swizzy was only managed to be 2/10 quicker, which I don't think is going to be enough to catch him. I think, bar any big mistakes, I think McManley might have this in the bag.
Yeah, driving very sensibly at the moment. Like you say, not really. He's pushing, but he's aware of the two GTRs are right behind him. So, what would you be doing here if you were Mac?
I think I would be trying to push as hard as I can to try and keep that gap how it is. Also, don't be worried if the gap is coming down. I'll be looking at my tyres and realise that my tyres are probably more worn than the people behind me. So if they do catch me up, I'll just be trying to focus on exits to corners more so than anything. Get a good launch down a straight, and there's not really much they can do.
And just looking on board on KD the Kai's tyre wear, that that left front tyre doesn't look very good at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, and if we compare it to Swizzy, even his mediums even compound software doesn't look that great.
Could we see that play a huge part in the feature race? Obviously, maybe the tyre wear on these GTRs being a little bit worse than we saw last week with the different track conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this will probably be another track where we see the hards probably be the best race tyre, as they should be able to hold up and take you deep into the race. Yeah, I think personally I would probably medium hard for the sprint race. We see Pedro going up the inside of Stephen at turn 1. He takes that inside line and says, "Thank you very much. I'll see you later, son." And I'm off on my way. And due to the worn tyres, Stephen can't really respond much to it.
No, unfortunately not.
The gap at the front there is coming down again now to just under 3 seconds. Swizzy catching McManley by about 7/10 last lap. Obviously, you can tell that mediums are in a much better shape than what the softs are currently. I don't know. I think my money saw McManley to win this.
Yeah.
Our next lap will be our last lap. Our last racing lap, bar any big mistakes. I'm pretty sure McManley has it. I don't know about you, Sarah.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you in that. I think McManley's drove a brilliant race so far. No mistakes. Managed to get out of the pack quite quickly, which obviously meant that he wasn't caught up in any troubles or anything like that. So, for our youngest driver on the grid, a very, very good drive from him.
Sim race dude is just accidentally went a bit wide and spun in the final sector. Oh, we have a driver in the pits.
Oh, we have Jabril.
Oh, Coolio.
And Fred going at it at the moment, going on to the start finish.
I think Jabril's going to be able to hold this up the inside.
Yeah.
Which he does. Can Fred hit a nice cutback on him?
Oh.
Maybe not quite.
Kula says I'm staying in the pits now. So I think we have a tactical DNF from Koulios. how's the race going out there for you, Koulios, at the moment? Is it proving difficult, or not a fan of the track?
I think So looks like our winner tonight will be Manley, followed by Swizzy, followed by King the Kai.
Pedro, not Pedro. Stephen just losing it a little bit there. We'll stay on board with McManley as he goes through the third sector now.
I tell you what, 1 or 2 laps more, and I think Manley would have been in quite a bit of bother.
Oh, 100%. Would you, after this sprint race, if you've got a certain strategy in mind, seeing how, I don't know, the softs and the mediums have lasted, do you reckon that's going to maybe change some drivers' strategy a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. If you haven't done any practice, and this is like your first proper run on these tires, seeing how the soft tires, as you said, the soft tires are barely lasting 10 laps for some drivers. Surely you'd be thinking maybe not the best race tire. If I need to switch to a set of tires on the end, but with 7 or 8 laps to go, maybe thinking softs. Seeing how fuel is. Fuel seems all right. I think based on our fuel usage, we're probably into a 1-stop. If you qualified on mediums, your 1-stop's done. It'd be medium hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think if softs might be a bit difficult, but probably have to go. I think it probably will be 1-stop is the best, or you can go soft, medium, bar no rain. To which I don't believe we are getting any rain.
No, it looks pretty sunny at the moment.
I think absolutely. Go back to your original question, Sarah. I think after seeing how the softs wore down for some drivers, I think their strategy would absolutely be changing.
Nick says, mediums were dead. Fred says, I'm changing my name to Nico Hulkenberg whenever I'm in a podium position, something stupid happens. Fred, just keep at it. You were doing really well, and these things happen. This is a tricky track, so you should be proud of yourself. What you're doing so far. As before, we changed the settings of the lobby quickly for the feature race. If we just run down the order of the sprint race, would you like to do the top 8, Kirk?
Yeah, our top 8, our sprint race. So our top 3 was Manley, Swizzy, Katie the Kai. That's our top 3. Followed by Bertie, Lee, Jabril, Fred, and Pedro. You want to take us down our bottom half of our pack?
Yep,
Sarah?
so starting off in 9th, we've got Sim Race Dude, then Stephen, Midnight, Deadline, Nick, and then Koulios. Obviously, Midnight downwards, finishing a lap down. I've got to say, although we didn't mention him a lot during that, I think he went kind of under the radar a little bit. Bertie, finishing in 4th place in the McLaren. That's a pretty good showing so far. Oh, it's got very grey in the weather-wise in the lobby at the moment. Could that be rain on the way?
Oh, could we be seeing a bit of rain in this race?
Nick says, "Uh-oh." I feel like the track is too small for the cars. It is a difficult track, Koulios. Just try your best and just be proud of yourself. Like you say, it is a difficult track. But any standout people for you, Kirk, from the sprint race?
Yeah, I think Bertie as well. I think Bertie did a fantastic job. Under radar. It's what he seems to do best. Keeping it clean, doesn't get involved in any drama or anything, and just gets a good result. I think my driver of the sprint race is Bertie as well. McManley as well. Got to give a shout out to McManley. He did what I said. Got to the front of the pack first and didn't look back. Although looking at the track right now, the track it is a little bit wet to start this race off, so it might be worth starting on the soft tyre to just help keep that temperature up. I'm not sure if we're due any rain or not, because it's all set to random. Yeah, probably. I'll probably be starting softs. I think the people who have to start on medium, who qualified on the mediums, could be in a bit of trouble here. Just due to the fact that obviously the medium tire is going to be harder to warm up and get traction than the soft tire. So I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you there. I was just saying, saw that Swizzy says make sure to have inters and wets. Does he sense that there's rain on the way? But yeah, like you, whoever's on the slightly harder tyre, I think it's going to take them a little bit longer to get them up to temperature. But I suppose it's kind of like 50-50. You've got slightly more tyre life than the people running in soft, but obviously it's going to take you a little bit longer to get them up to the same sort of temperature. So yeah, no, I'm intrigued to kind of see the strategies from people. Just a quick reminder, just in case drivers are listening, remember to use the tyres that you set your fastest qualifying lap on, and also make sure that you have wet or intermediate tyres available in case it does rain. You don't want to be out there in slicks in wet weather on this game, because I think we've all done it. It just turns into a very drifty race. Apart from that, remember to use 2 compounds of tyres, 2 different compounds. Apart from that, just best of luck to everybody. Obviously we've got an hour's race coming up. Any final thoughts before we get the feature race started?
I think if it is going to be a bit damp off the start, I think we should advise the drivers to maybe take it a bit easy into turn 1. Remember, this race is not going to be won in the first corner. So yeah, just keep it clean, let the race come to you. You know, it looks like the weather conditions seem like it's going to be very changeable. So yeah, can't win the race in the first corner. It's a long race. Let it play out over the whole event and not at the first corner.
100%. Let's go, says Midnight. Just trying to get my back onto the spectator mode, because you know it wouldn't be a stream. It wouldn't be a Hawkeye stream, or it wouldn't be a Nighthawk racing stream without some sort of technical difficulty. So we have Jabril up in pole position. So remember, full starts are on, so make sure not to right, lights out and away we go.
And away we go. We have a good start from Jabril being able to hold off Swizzy comfortably into turn 1. Then we have Kai under a little bit of pressure from McManley. Then Pedro, Fred. Oh, right, breaking a bit. Oh, when we have Kulios.
We have Fred, Stephen, Pedro, Kulios, all running off into turn 1. Probably not what they wanted. Setting up for an hour's race.
Okay, probably not the best, but don't worry, it's a long race. Right strategy call in what we assume to be a mixed condition race. It's going to be everything.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so we have Jabril leading the way. Swizzy coming under pressure from McManley on soft tyres, which has obviously he's been able to fire up much better than Swizzy. Obviously, Swizzy being a harder compound. We have McManley looking to the inside, coming up to the hairpin. Did he think better of it? He poked his nose a bit late on there, gives Swizzy a little bit of a tap. Oh, half spins slightly. Easily on the threat from Kai running down the hill, which Kai just tucks in behind. Other than that, we haven't got really anything else going on. Yeah, so leading our first way, coming off the first lap, we have Jabril, followed by Swizzy, who's slightly holding up McManley. a little bit of a train forming behind Squizzy right this second, which is not something I thought I'd say. There's four cars behind being Manly, being Manly, Katie Kai, Lee, Sim Racing Dude a little bit back, followed by Deadline, followed by Midnight, Bertie, Fred, Nick, Pedro, Steve, and Kulios rounding out our first lap.
Yep. I think Pedro's eyeing up a move.
Swizzy let Manly by down the straight. Obviously, Swizzy knowing that he's on a different compound tied to me. It's not someone. This is not my battle right now, and gives Manly the green light to go after Jabril.
Yeah, very clean and fair racing, and very clever racing indeed. Obviously, thinking longer. It is a long race, and we have got a lot more laps to go. So, yeah, thinking ahead, which is good to see. But like I say, Jabril.
Driver in the pits.
Oh, Kulios in the pits, back out, probably repairing some damage. I'm not sure if he went onto a different set of tyres or not, but I mean, if I was him, I would have gone to a different set of tyres. Get that 2 compound rule out of the way pretty much straight off the bat. Repair any damage and then get your head back in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I've not seen any signs of any more rain just yet, but looking at the sky and looking at how threatening it is, I certainly wouldn't put it past it.
I was going to say, it does look very grey.
Up again.
Oh, Katie the Kai drifting.
Oh, Katie the Kai.
We call that at the same time. Although Lee's right behind him. Could we see Lee going for an overtake on Katie the Kai? So quite far back, but obviously if he stays behind him on this start-finish straight, get some slipstream in turn 1. We'll stay on board with Lee and Kai. Gap down to just under a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone's starting to settle down now, aren't they? They're all back there and got space on track, and a little bit of a following, a little bit of a train, but as I said, long race. No need to take risk right now. You've got a long way to go yet.
No, and like you said, obviously a train, but everyone relatively close together still. Obviously the gap from Lee to Simrace 2.9 seconds. So not much in it at the moment. We've got another driver in the pits.
We saw it pace.
Got Stephen in the pits.
Last week we saw it pace-wise where the fastest laps of all our drivers are within a second of each other. So the pace of everyone, although qualifying it may say that there's quite a gap between drivers, it really isn't as big as we expect, and it looks like it may be brightening up a bit. The cloud may be breaking slightly.
Yeah, I saw a glimpse of sun there. Kind of like the weather in England.
Yeah, it looks quite bright in the final section now. It seems like the sun's come out and lighting the place up.
Midnight seems to be getting into the race. I think obviously a better start to the race than the sprint race for him. Just seems to have settled down just behind Deadline now. Going into turn 1. Anyone standing out to you at the moment? I know obviously quite early into the race.
Yeah. Quite early. Jabril, fantastic showing, wasn't it, on his debut? Leading the way by about 3.5 seconds now, followed by Manly. Obviously, both of them using their soft tyres to their advantage, while they're lasting right now. Then had the Swizzy, Lee doing very well. P5. We saw in the sprint race he had quite good pace. Obviously, I think very good defensive driver. I think lead's probably on for quite a good result here. We have a little train behind Sim Race Dude. No one quite close enough to really make a move on anyone else. Yeah, and the really last person on the back of our main pack is Pedro. Obviously, a little bit of drama on the first lap, first corner. But obviously, he seems to be catching everybody up now. Well, catching up to the pack, should I say.
Yeah, as I say, Pedro very
yeah.
quick on controller. In the Genesis, like I said, don't really know much about that car. It might be pretty good compared to some of the cars on, say, tyre wear and fuel usage. But yeah, like you say, a little bit of drama, lap 1, turn 1. Always the case in any sort of racing. But like you say, long race to go. I'm sure he'll catch probably a lot of people. Like I say, he's quick. So we'll keep an eye out for Pedro.
Absolutely. A race to remember, hopefully, for us, Pedro.
Ooh.
I see Luke defending from Deadline. Deadline up the inside of Luke, a bit slidey at the rear of that Lambo, but looks like Luke held it off unless Deadline tries to go around the outside.
I'll say Deadline
No,
just
he
peeking his head round, showing Midnight he's there, he's ready.
Better not make a mistake, Midnight, or you're happier.
Yeah. Not to put any pressure on you, Midnight, at all. Well, saying that, where is Deadline gone? Deadline has dropped back. Was that a spin? A technical issue?
He did a. He might have gone a bit wide in the exit of the corner and touched the grass.
Yeah, very easily done here. Like I said, compared to some of the tracks where we're kind of used to barriers being there to kind of, I guess, push us the right way, straighten us up a little bit, yeah, and save us sometimes. This track, with the sand and the grass, it is very, very difficult. Because once you hit that grass,
Absolutely.
oh, I just went on to Kai drifting around under the bridge as well. Seems like that GTR is proving a little bit hard to handle around some of these twisty tracks.
I think Kai must have had an issue because he's dropped.
Oh, a lot of damage. He's got front end damage and a bit of suspension damage on the right hand side.
I think he might have spun.
As you see, Midnight going into 5th place. If you were Kai,
from Midnight, starting.
Sorry, if you were Kai, would you be pitting now, repairing that damage?
It's difficult to say. You've really got to see your pace with the damage. As a crash compared to his last few laps, it's cost him 11 seconds. So really, see what your pace is like. Doing a little bit of driving earlier, I found my front damage cost me about a second a lap, roughly, compared to what I should have been doing. So you might really be struggling with that car, especially getting in behind dirt. I think the more I think about it, the more I say pit. Maybe go into a set of hards and just try and just take them as long as I can until possible rain comes, and try and save my race.
Yeah,
that's all I can really think of.
Yeah, like you say, it's that decision. Do you pit now? Kind of, I guess, save the time that you will eventually lose if you keep out on the damage. But will that mess up your strategy? Maybe. But it's a long race to go. So I'm sure KD the car, we all know he's pretty fast. He'll be back up near the podium, if not on the podium by the end of the race, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think I said as here he comes to Kai pitting this lap. I think that's the right thing to do. He saw he wasn't keeping up with Midnight, and best to take it and repair that damage and try and salvage the week of the race.
Yeah, Pedro just overtaking Sim Race Dude going into turn 1. Chasing that top 5 positions. Obviously recovering from the damage. Well, not the damage, but the drama from lap 1. Doing pretty well so far. Someone that's going under the radar again, Lee, up in 4th. Obviously, the tyre wear on the softs is quite high, but having a pretty good performance so far. Hopefully, I didn't, commentators curse and all that. But in the Lexus, just kind of minding his own. No, not doing any mistakes. Got quite a big gap in front and behind, so he's in that territory where he can breathe a little bit, I reckon. Obviously still pushing, but
Focus on his focus.
Yeah.
Slightly wide there.
Yeah, if I was Lee here, I'd be trying to
right now,
catch some breaths.
Yeah. So of our top 3, the fastest person last lap was actually Manley setting a 47.0. Interestingly enough, they're all closing up again as Jabril. Oh no, it's like I stand corrected. They're all trading fastest lap times. It looks like they're all running around the low 47s. So the gap is really at the front, staying as is.
Yeah. I've got to say I'm really impressed by Jabril at the moment. He's just from pole. Obviously, can he go from pole to first? Like, he's in quite a good position at the moment. Maybe I don't know if he's done much practice. Obviously, being a last minute call up, but maybe out of everyone, he knows this track the best, or he's got that raw pace to turn up and get good results. But no matter what, he's doing really well, and
yeah,
definitely a surprising addition.
Jabril making a mistake going a bit deep into the hairpin.
Yeah, loses that a little bit of time. You can see McManley in the background now.
Yeah, it looks like it might have cost him about half a second.
Yeah, sorry, Jabril, commentator's cursed.
Yeah, that front left is absolutely toast.
Yeah, that is puncture territory, as they say. Would you, like the GTRs, obviously Swizzy and KD the Kai last week showed that you can drive on tyres that look like they have no tyre wear. Oh, yellow flag. What's happened here? Oh, no, it was a quick yellow flag. I can't see anything so far. Obviously got Nick and Koulios in the pits. With Jabril going over onto lap number 9. I think that was the quickest yellow flag I've ever seen. It just went, no yellow sector anymore.
Looking at the lap time, it's again of our top 3. It looks like Swizzy is now our fastest for our top 3. He was 7/10 quicker than Manley, and then over a second quicker than Jabril.
Midnight going on the inside of Lee. Takes that 4th place off of Lee.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, this race is now firmly coming towards them medium runners.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, just look at Luke's tyre wear compared to Swizzy's. Especially our front two tyres are absolutely done. Oh, again, Jabril going deep at the hairpin again.
Yeah, maybe that tyre wear costing a little bit of time taken away from the gap, and also I guess it's easier to sort of make those mistakes. Talking about tyre wear, Lee does not have any tyre wear on the 2 front tyres, so I feel like he'll be coming in shortly.
Same with Jabril. His front tyres are absolutely toast, for lack of a better word.
Yellow flag again.
Oh, got yellow flags. Here we got someone spun. Oh, we Deadline, a spin for Deadline, whose rear tyres are toast.
Oh no. Obviously, Deadline recently going on the wheel. Yeah, which promotes Swizzy into first. Deadline also comes in. And so Deadline recently going on the wheel, having some issues last week. But yeah, doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, look, it's as we said, them soft tyres are barely, as we saw in our sprint race, them soft tyres are didn't even make it to lap 10. I
No,
mean,
as we
that's looking
see
at
Lee come
everyone.
in now.
Um, Interested to see where Key Kai comes out compared to our front runners. He comes out about, it looks like about, if he's to be right up there with Manley. Oh, we have Nick making a slight mistake
Yeah, obviously
and
Nick and
allowing Deadline to get
Deadline.
past.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like Kay Kai's early stop has worked out well for him, as he is now within a second of Manley.
Yeah, and
You know,
obviously
so
the back marker being in the middle there. It's given McManny a little bit of breathing room, but not much. I think KD the Kai is definitely on the hunt for the podium positions now. Obviously, getting rid of
yeah,
the damage, and he's back on the hunt. Oh, possible dive, but oh, KD the Kai going on the inside of Mac. Those two fighting all the way down the hill. Who's going to come out in front? No one knows. Max just got in front of him now. It's close between these two.
this is a crucial overtake for KD Kai to make. His softs compared, he needs to make the most of these softs. Manley being on the hard tyre is just going to hold him up as just right now he's just bleeding time.
Yeah.
Due to Manley. Obviously on completely different strategies. So this is doing no good for Kai's race, but absolute wonders for Manley's race further on or later on in this race.
Could we see a possible
Yeah.
overtake into turn one? Oh, I think Kai's going for it. No, thinks better of it. No, pops back out again. Goes onto that inside line. Who's going to brake later? Oh, both going side by side into turn one, and both surviving. Clean racing.
It's move in the end. Maybe took a bit longer than Kai would really have wanted.
Max showing that he's still behind him, popping in and then popping out of the racing line. Showing his intentions. Obviously running on those hards, which is going to slow him down a little bit, but obviously the longevity might prove in his favour later on in the race, as we're a third of the way through our feature race.
Okay, the Kai getting very squirrely out the hairpin, putting
Yeah.
a needless mistake that's putting him under pressure from Manley. Interestingly enough, due to like fuel and that, Kai is now 10 seconds behind Swizzy. I'm not sure if that's a gap. I'd be confident about closing up. But you know, it's KD the Kai. We know how quick he can be. If anyone can do it, he can.
Oh, 100%. And just an honourable mention. Midnight, somehow in first place. But obviously, like I said, he's in there. He's always there. I feel like
count him out.
Yeah, don't count him out. He's got some unusual strategy calls, so be intrigued to see what he goes on to next. But tyre not looking too bad for him.
Interestingly, Jabril's on a fresh set of softs. I don't think Luke would be able to keep him behind for long.
No, Jabril's looking very, very fast. I don't know, will he stay behind Midnight or will he go for the move into the second sector? This bit obviously very difficult. Oh, Midnight runs a little bit wide, lets Jabril through. Maybe like you said, maybe he knows Jabril's on that faster set of softs. Midnight just wants to kind of, stay where he is, don't get into too many fights that could obviously end up in
at the end of it,
disaster sometimes.
At the end of it, it's just not Luke's fight, is it? Swizzy,
yeah, exactly.
Fresh set of soft, pitted. Obviously, Luke, he's just got to run his own race. It's like seeing a Red Bull that's just pitted coming up to an Alpine or a Williams that hasn't pitted. It's just not your fight.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And obviously, Jabril is on the softs. Swizzy is on the mediums. So Swizzy might be able to. The longevity of his tyres might last a little bit longer than Jabril towards the end of the race. Obviously, I think Jabril will have to pit again for a different set of tyres. going on double softs. Oh, we've had Stephen leave the room.
I think you're right. This could be absolutely anyone's race. This is this is the joys of long races. You know, whose strategy is going to work out well in the end.
Yeah.
So our top three before our pit stops are all on different tyres. So we've got Jabril should I say Jabril softs, Swizzy mediums, McManley on the hards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is literally anybody's race. And is it just me, or is it starting to look a lot darker again?
I was going to mention that. It's getting very dark. Obviously, it could mean that we're just going into evening, but also it could mean that rain's on the way. Which I don't think a lot of drivers will like if it is. Get everyone out on track.
I see. This track is hard. is hard enough in the dry, let alone in the wet.
Yeah, could spice things up a bit though.
Yeah, absolutely. This could be perfect for someone.
Such as Midnight.
I
was going to say, Midnight, go hanging. If rain hits now, he'll be very happy.
It puts him into a P2. I think who would your money be on now?
Oh, I don't know. I think Jabril has shown how fast he is. But I think it's going to be Jabril or Swizzy. I'm not quite sure out of the two who I'm going to pick at the moment, but I'm going to keep my eyes on those two. I feel like they're definitely both in contention of winning, and we'll probably see both of them on the podium. It's just what order. Oh, Midnight into the pits now. As we get Swizzy back into second.
We all, at some point, does he know something? Does he know something we don't? You know, has he got that rain radar? And has he seen it? And obviously not seen any rain.
Oh.
Is he fighting a lost cause? And decided just to pit now.
Yeah, I suppose it's that thing. If you can't see any rain, you're gonna just have to go for your normal strategy. It goes on to the softs. Midnight on the softs. Comes out just in front of Lee.
This is our first pit stop, top three. Jabril, followed by Swizzy, followed by KD. The guy who obviously made that early start. McManley P4 and Midnight P5.
Yeah. So just looking at Simray Sood and Pedro. Seem to have settled into the race quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, now that we've really settled into it, we're not really seeing any mistakes from anyone, are we? You know, everyone's now found their own slot on track and now just driving as best they can.
Yeah, they can breathe a bit now. They're all settling in, feeling a lot calmer probably, knowing the track.
I don't think we've got any rain coming for this final. We've now got
Lee goes a little bit wide there.
Final sector.
Yeah, as soon as we say it looks like it's about to rain, then the sun comes out of nowhere. Maybe we should say the opposite. Maybe we should say maybe we should say that the sun is out, and then it will start raining. I think the drivers will have some words for us afterwards if we did that.
Have you got your rain? Rain. You're gonna do your rain dance for us, Sarah?
Oh, don't know about the rain dance, but I'll. I don't know. Myself, I'm. Oh, deadline in the background there. I'm not a fan of the rain in these endurance races. I mean, I am and I'm not. I'm kind of like 50-50. I love how it spices things up, but when you're a driver and you've got a certain strategy in mind, whenever you see that on the radar, you see the rain popping up, you're like, oh no. It just, when you think about it, it's just, you've got so many things to think about. What tyres do I go on? Hopefully I don't spin. What happens if someone's next to me? Am I gonna like slide into them? Am I gonna slide off myself? I feel like rain for a sim racer is you either love it or you hate it. It's kind of like Marmite.
Yeah, absolutely. I think personally, it really does help spice the race up. But you know, if we don't come, it don't come.
Yeah. I feel like it keeps jinxing us. It
Oh,
keeps getting
hey.
dark, then it keeps going light.
Yeah. And yeah, you know, Rezo, this race is like really settled down. Luke is now interesting driver. You know, P5 hunting down McManley on them softs. Is he going to be able to catch McManley before his softs hit the wall? What do you think?
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, the gap's just under 7 seconds now. Obviously, I don't think the softs are going to last to the end. Or, knowing Midnight, he probably will be on the... It'll be like a train towards the end. It'll be on the rims. But... I don't know. It's that thing. It's the hards that Mac's on. It's got the longevity, but it's not necessarily got the outright speed. Where Midnight's got the speed, but not the longevity. So I feel like he's going to get close to Mac. I'm not sure if he will pip that 4th place or not. It's a bit tricky to call at the moment.
I mean, to be fair, last lap Luke was 1.3 seconds faster than him, and then almost 2 seconds faster than Katie the Kai in third. But then Katie the Kai's
I stand corrected.
Like
then the gap has gone down to 6
it's...
seconds. So like you say, he's on his way, Mac. He's on his way. Obviously, McManley just at the bottom of the hill.
Gabriel coming around to lap Nick. Well, do you want to take us down our race order, Sarah? Jabril's just past halfway distance.
Yep, so currently in first we have Jabril, then we have Swizzy, Katie the Kai, McManley. Then we have Midnight ISO, Lee, Pedro, and then do you want to run from 8th? Oh! That was close. Lee having a little bit of a spin there, nearly coming across Pedro's path, but all came out well. But yeah, if you want to go from Sim Race Dude, well, Lee downwards.
So obviously after that little spin Lee had, he's dropped down to 7th. You got Sim Race Dude now going to probably be challenging him into turn 1 while Lee try and cleans his tyres up. We have Fred in ninth in his own little world. Maybe a little bit of pressure from behind from Bertie, who's only 7 seconds back. And then we have Deadline, who is definitely in a little room by himself. And then last but certainly not least, we have Nick.
Yeah, a great addition to the grid tonight, Nick, with what we consider the dark horse, the Renault R01. Personally, I haven't driven the car much, but apparently in testing it did prove quite good on both tyre and fuel usage. Nick's probably got a completely different perspective. He's hopefully not. Hopefully he's enjoying the car. But I love how he's sticked with the traditional Renault colours with the yellow and black. And like I said, doing really well so far.
Just a little update on Luke catching McManley. Last lap, Luke was almost 2.5 seconds faster than McManley. Luke is catching at a rate of quite a rate. You know, I think in a lap or two, well, next lap, Luke is going to be on McManley. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes Luke to get past him. But yeah, that could make or break Luke's race, depending on how fast he can get past.
100%. The gap's
Again,
done
another
to under 2 seconds, so the The battle is on.
Yeah. So Luke last lap set a 45.8. Manley almost 3 seconds slower on a 48.2. Luke is absolutely flying
He's
right now.
flying, yeah. The gap's just under a second now. Obviously, back marker just in front of Mac there and Nick.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke right now is our fastest driver on track. You know, so maybe not the front. Maybe the top two might be a little bit far out, but if he plays his cards right, there's no reason why he couldn't be getting past Key behind, stealing that last podium position.
Yeah. It's definitely on. Although being on the softs. Oh, saying that, KD the Kai is on the softs as well, and his tyre wear is looking pretty bad. So I feel like he'll be pitting shortly. So maybe potentially, yeah, if he gets in front of Mac here, could get him up to third place, and he might be able to stay there.
Yeah, I don't think Max will be able to defend from Luke coming down this pitch straight. Luke is basically pushing him around this final sector. As Luke looks to get a couple later, Apex get a good run down the pitch straight. Took in behind the rear wing of McManley. Is McManley going to defend? No, McManley takes it straight over, pulls over to the left to say, "Here you are, Luke. I don't want any of this. You can go past, right?" And then Luke makes it a simple job in the end.
Oh,
A bit deep.
I was going to say Mac's back.
Yeah, Mac cuts it, switches back on him. Yeah, Luke will be probably kicking himself for that. There was really kind of an unnecessary mistake there. Maybe McMahon kind of obscured his brake reference that caused him to go a little bit deep. Really an unforced error. McManley was really giving that position to him, which is really probably going to hurt his pace a little bit on them soft tyres. Obviously, the longer he's behind McManley, the more his tyres are going to wear out.
Yeah. Like you say, probably kicking himself a little bit. But it's very, very easily done at that first corner. Oh, Midnight going on to the inside here. As we go down the hill, side by side, just getting in front.
Yeah, he had to wait about half a lap. Probably half a lap later than he would have really wanted, but no. Now he's here. He's got to hunt down Swizzy after Kai's pitted and come out in P7 on a fresh set of mediums, possibly to the end.
Possibly, yeah.
Although, for 14 laps on a set of mediums, it might be a bit close, but certainly not impossible.
Yeah, certainly not impossible, and we know what KD the Kai is like race pace towards the end. It seems to be quite consistent still.
Brilliant as well.
Yeah, obviously Jabril in. He will have to go to a different set of tyres, but he's in second. I feel like could Midnight be onto a podium here? He does have to pit again, but if he can build a big enough gap.
Did he qualify on the softs or the mediums?
I believe it might have been the mediums. I might stand corrected there after we watch the replay. But I'm not quite sure. I feel it was because it was on mediums and I was quite surprised he went to softs. But if you're Midnight here, I'd try and build a big enough gap, dive back in for another set of fresh softs, and potentially see if you can keep near the podium, if not on the podium. With I just noticed the fastest lap. A 1:44.
An absolute alien pace.
I was going to say, KD the Kite's flying. Although Jabril's not too far behind Mac now, so he's definitely wanting that podium place back, and I reckon he'll get it pretty quickly.
Yeah, just to confirm, Luke did qualify on the soft tyres.
Nice. Swizzy coming in. Oh, what What tyres do you reckon he's going to go for? It's probably going to take him towards the end. Getting a little bit of fuel.
Swizzy, right now, I'd be probably 13 laps would be too much to do on the soft, so you'd have to be taking
Ooh.
another set.
He went on to the softs.
Oh,
Midnight.
well, that's certainly going to be.
Midnight into first. Obviously. New softs versus old softs. McLaren versus GTR. If you're Midnight, do you let Swizzy go? Do you fight for it?
No, I wouldn't. Probably. Well, Swizzy's going to have to pit. Swizzy's going to be really vulnerable in this race and them softs.
Yeah, especially around a track round here with the very difficult corners. I feel like we've seen tyre wear around here with the twisty, turny track. It's proven difficult for some drivers once that tyre wear has degraded a little bit. It then becomes very drifty out there. Yeah, Midnight just letting Kate. Oh, no. I stand corrected. Both still fighting. I'd say not the best sprint race for Midnight, but he's definitely proving like his pace in that McLaren in the feature race.
Interesting. I've just gone back on Luke's rod, or Midnight's rod, should I say? He qualified on the soft tyre, yet started on the mediums.
Oh, did he set his fastest lap on the softs?
Yeah, he set his fastest lap on the soft tyres. So
but he started on the mediums.
Naughty there from Luke.
Oh, naughty. Unless he did start on softs, I just didn't see. But yeah, interesting. Obviously, Swizzy now 1.6 seconds down the road in the lead.
Yeah, I don't think this is Midnight's fight. Midnight's going to box for a set of soft tyres to the end, probably. Probably about a lap or two's time.
Yeah, Mac and Jabril going on to the outside. Staying with Mac. Oh, getting close. Side by side. Good battle between these two.
You know, this is the position now, you know.
100%.
Got to try and fight with all he's got, but I think that inside line's will be too much to come back against, especially on his worn hards. Jabril and them fresh
yellow flag.
Mediums, you know, it's not really much McLaren they can do. Oh, we have Nick parked up on the exit of the hairpin.
Maybe potentially waiting for those two to get out of the way. Try to rejoin the track safely.
As well.
I can sympathise with Deadline. I know how hard it is to when you drive on controller and then trying to drive on the wheel. It is quite difficult because you're so used to just how you race on controller. It is very different when you jump on a wheel, and I find it's very easy to lose the car on a wheel, and then harder to gain the control of the car again. Because once it goes, it wants to just spin round.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially sweet rear engine in like the Lambo is. Or mid-engine, should I say.
So I think Swizzy's now on the hunt for Midnight. Obviously, like you say, Midnight will have to pit at some point.
Yeah, I think, set of softs and then it'd be Luke hunting down Manley and Jabril. Pedro up into P5, yeah, very interesting comeback, although he's going to have to pit and obviously lose that fifth position to Katie Kai. Yeah. So I think realistically Katie Kai's battle now is with Midnight.
Yeah, I reckon. Oh. Yeah, I still reckon Katie Kai can maybe get third, but I feel like it's going to be a three-way battle for fourth position between third and fourth position. Yeah, Mac, Midnight, and Kai.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a three-way battle for third. Midnight, McMandy, and KD Kai. Although KD Kai's got to try and catch up 20 odd seconds
Yeah.
to McMandy, which is quite an
I
ask.
was going to say, if you were Pedro right now, knowing that KD the Kai is that far back on used set of mediums, would you be pitting now, going on that maybe soft set of tyres, 10 laps to go, come out relatively fast behind him, see if you can kind of stay behind him, get into that third place battle?
Again, I think 10 laps is an awful lot of laps to ask for themselves. We saw in the sprint race and even the first stint of this race that struggling to like make it last 10 laps. Also, we've got to think Luke's surely going to get a penalty for starting on the. Oh, Mac's had enough of them hards.
Yeah, maybe fuel as well. Maybe pit for fuel now. Maybe go on that soft set of tyres. Maybe see if he can.
He realised he wasn't going to make it to end on the end of the race with the fuel.
No.
And just decided he was going to take a set of softs at the end.
Midnight onto softs again. Mac onto the softs as well. So they're getting ready to fight for P3. Although KD the Kai now is in P3. Will he just kind of, being on the mediums, just sprint towards the end, try and make that gap between the Midnight and Mac as high as he can to stop that freeway battle?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Sadie Cal's going to come under a lot of pressure from Midnight. But towards the end of this race, the tower is going to even out during longer the stint goes on. I think Cade Cal's going to need to have a masterful defensive drive here if he wants to save the podium to some extent.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Just cycling through the drivers at the moment. It's got Deadline currently just in front of Mac. Obviously, blue flag conditions. Again, that Lambo is probably very difficult to get used to on the wheel. So doing pretty good.
Really?
You go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It looks like I said, Kaylee Kai is gonna. Our real battle here now is going to be for third position.
Yeah, I was going to say Midnight's looking very fast. Keeping within 2 seconds of KD the Kai on the mediums. I feel like Midnight will be hungry for that third place.
So even with the looming threat of a possible penalty because of starting on the wrong tyre.
Yeah. That'll be something for the stewards to look at.
Absolutely would be. Certainly a shame though if it was to happen. You have to do a fantastic race.
Yeah.
Starting down towards the back, finishing.
Oh, I think we might see Swizzy come in again. I'll just pan onto him. The tyre not looking horrible compared to what we've seen, but the fuel. Don't think he's going to make it to the end on the fuel that he has.
Absolutely not. Yeah, this is lighting up to anybody's race.
Yeah,
maybe not quite anyone's race.
I'd say Jabril behind's probably very happy. Knowing that obviously he's got enough fuel, enough tyre wear.
But Swizzy's lapping a few seconds a lap faster. He's already got that gap to about 14 seconds. Swizzy's only going to need some fresh tyres and a dash of fuel. Is he going to be able to hunt Jabril down and really chase him in towards the end of this race?
I'm not going to say it's not possible because you never say never. And it is Swizzy at the end of the day. It definitely proves how fast he is in that GTR. So I wouldn't write it off just yet. But I don't know, Jabril just kind of chilling at the moment. Sorry, what were you going to say there?
In our battle for our last, in the battle for our last podium position P3 right now, our fastest driver out of the three is actually McManley, who was about 3/10 quicker than Katie Kai last lap. Not the biggest amount, but I think as these soft tyres really start coming into it, I think we can start seeing that gap come down quite quickly.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna agree with you there. I said the gap between McManley and Pedro, 20 seconds. I feel like definitely. Oh, Swizzy in with 3%, cutting it fine. But will we see Jabril coming over the start finish straight now? He's gonna jump Swizzy. But what's the gap going to be when Swizzy comes out? How much fuel is he going to put in? Obviously, I mean, I think Jabril is pretty much set to go to the end of the race. About half.
Yeah, Jabril definitely going towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I don't think he's doing it. I think he might be able to get that gap down to about 10 or so seconds. So I think this is race Jabril.
Yeah, the gap 17 seconds at the moment between the two. Like I say, a little dash of fuel, wanting to get out of the pits as quickly as he can. But I think, like you say, I think Jabril's got the win in the bag, as they say. I don't know, 5 laps.
Battle for third place.
I say
battle for third place again.
Yeah.
Manley again. Again, a second and a half faster than Keely Kai. About 8/10 quicker than Luke. This battle for third is really starting to come join in on each other.
Oh, 100%. And I was just noticing the gap between Katie the Kai and Midnight under 1.5 seconds. So it's definitely heating up for that third place podium position.
Yeah. Do you think Kai's feeling the pressure yet?
Oh, I reckon so. I mean,
maybe a little mistake there from Midnight at the hairpin. So
yeah.
He's just dropped back in about a half second.
To be fair, I'd be scared with Midnight behind me. With that McLaren. Sometimes McLaren, some tracks it's not in its favour, but it seems to be quite balanced round here. Obviously not the fastest, but definitely not the slowest round here in terms of car pace. So that gap's now down to a second between the two.
Yeah, here we are. Here we are, the battle for third. What did McManley say? 45, yeah. Again, 45.5. You know, again, another second and a half quicker than Katie Kai. Really struggling now. Obviously, getting very sideways out of the exit of turn 1.
Yeah.
You know, Midnight all over the back. And, you know, Midnight must be thinking, I have to get this move done quick. Because McManley is hunting us both down.
Yeah.
I really haven't got time to waste.
Oh.
You know, so Katie Kai go a bit deep. Luke try and get a bit of a cutback move, possibly going on Katie Kai. He gets the cutback. Can he get good traction? Not quite. He's got to maybe going in towards the hairpin. You know, get a tight line. Let the camber of the track pull the car in to help with the exit. Maybe a bit too far back for a look at the hairpin. Maybe come down to turn 1 next lap. That's the only real next overtaking opportunity.
Yeah.
But all this, trying to set this overtake up is really helping McManley catch up. That gap under 2 seconds now to the both of them.
Yeah, if I was in Midnight shoes here, you're thinking, where can I pass him? Oh, going a bit wide, Midnight on the exit that corner, just losing him a bit of time towards Kai. Bringing him back in towards the grasp of McManley. Probably not what he wanted from that, but the fight's definitely not over. The battle down to underneath a second. But like you say,
Sarah,
yeah.
Is it too late it too late to count out Swizzy? Because Swizzy, not only did he just set the new fastest lap of the race,
Oh my god, I've
he
just seen the
was
time, yeah.
2.6 seconds faster than Jabril last lap.
Jesus.
Oh.
Definitely an alien.
Man, yeah, actually, man on a mission right now.
100%. Well, yeah. I just saw the time between the two and I was like, really? But yeah, I wouldn't count him out just yet. Obviously, we've got 4 laps to go. He's got to cut 12 seconds down. I think it's going to be close, you know, between the two.
I mean, what? Yeah, 4 laps. Yeah, maybe not quite enough. You know, it's got to be about 3 seconds a lap, hasn't it?
I was going to say, if there was
It's
more...
going to be close, but I don't think it'll be enough.
If we had more laps, I reckon 100% Swizzy would be on the back of Jabril here. Swizzy's probably thinking, just a few more laps, please. Just add a few more laps. Because, like you say, definitely a man on the mission. And if we did have a slightly more laps, I reckon he'd definitely be in contention for the win. But still looking at this battle between Kai, Midnight and McManley. The battle's still on. Oh,
Kai a bit wide. Opens it. Is that open door up for Luke to go up the
oh,
inside?
slight bit of contact between the two.
Oh, Luke tapped Kai. Luke just sits behind a bit more again, allowing McManley to creep him closer. Luke spots a gap, takes a gap, and he's through.
It's in front. Yep.
As Kai got a response to him.
Oh, I don't know, but McManley, he's getting close.
Oh, McManley, yeah, looking for a later apex to straight line this final corner and get a good run to the straight. I think Luke's done enough now. I think Kid Kai's under real pressure now.
Yeah, but we see McManley going to the inside.
Going into turn 1.
He's going for it.
I think he's gone for it. He's licked the stamp.
Oh, not quite sent it though.
Not quite late enough.
Very close
to be able to fully move off.
And I said, I think Kai was just like, nope, you're not getting through it. Yeah, try again next lap.
Yeah, I don't want to set alarm bells off for anyone, but Swizzy did the right time. He was 3 seconds faster than Jabril last lap.
Yeah, and he's cut that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, he might do it, you know. Might be just at the end a dash towards the finish line between the two. That time is coming down very fast. Obviously, we're just under 9 seconds now.
Jabril's front tyres looks like they are dying a death.
Yeah. And obviously, compared to Swizzy's tyres, he's got a lot more grip out there. Oh.
Luke being able to build a little breather. Little breather to Katie and Kai and McManley. You know, that gap now. Just about 2 seconds, although McManley's tyres are looking quite worn. I don't know if he'd be able to catch Luke if he got past.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I feel like Midnight's definitely got the more grip out there compared to Mac and Katie the car on the mediums. So, like you say, I think Midnight will be happy he got past and that he's a bit down the road. He can, like you say, he can breathe a little bit now. Doesn't have to keep looking in the back mirror.
Here we are.
Oh, going up to the inside.
To the inside of Katie Kai. Can he outbrake Katie Kai coming into turn 1? He breaks just after the 100 metre board. No, well alongside it. Got to the apex.
Oh, drifty out on the exit.
Although he slides a bit on the exit.
Katie
Kai is a better exit. Look at it up to the inside towards turn 3. Again, break just after the 100 metre board. And then he's got the inside room. Or inside. But McManley keeps it around the outside, which switches to the inside. Which stays the inside for this next corner. But runs into the head.
Shuts the door.
Yeah, firmly shuts the door and tells Katie Kai to stay back there and don't come back. And then now he's off to hunt down Luke or Midnight.
Yeah, Pedro going in for a little bit of fuel. Coming back out. And a new set of softs as well. Yeah.
Just to on that battle for our battle for.
I was going to say I've just noticed that. Oh my god, I think towards the end it's going to spice it up. You know, obviously down to under 5.5 with 2 laps to go.
Yeah. Swizzy about 2 seconds faster than Jabril last lap. Jabril set out. Oh, Jabril must have made a mistake. 48.1 to There's another 3 seconds out the gap. That
I was
lap.
gonna say, if you're Swizzy,
This
you can
is
see
Swizzy.
Jabril. You can see him in front of you. So
He's so Swizzy's so close to this win, you can almost taste it.
yeah, it's gonna be close. It's gonna
All
be
that
so
traffic.
close.
Yeah, he's really struggling with that understeer. Sim racing dude on his softs possibly trying to unlap himself.
Yeah, potentially.
Grill. So if you're quicker, there's no reason why
Kai,
you aren't allowed to overtake.
he's in. So is that Kai out of the battle for third place?
Absolutely. At this point, yes.
I mean,
He
potentially.
realised, once McManley was passed, he realised there was nothing left to fight for. So he's put on for a fresh set of softs. Low fuel is going to try and take fastest lap on the last lap.
Yeah.
We have Nick parked up on the side, just letting everybody pass.
Yep. The gap is down to 3.1 seconds between our leader and second place. Although 2.8.
Sarah, I think Swizzy is going to be absolutely pushing Jabril through this final sector.
I was gonna say, this is battle worth watching. Last lap, can he catch Jabril? As we go on to our last lap shortly. Before we do, just gonna cycle through. Midnight, I think, has secured himself the third place. McManley fourth. Kai in fifth. Pedro in sixth. Lee in seventh. Like you say, Jay trying to unlap himself in P8. Fred, Bertie, Deadline, and Nick. I'm gonna say the cars look very pretty in the night time. And
unlapped himself.
Yeah, the gap is down to a second. On the final lap, the gap is down to less than a second now in the third sector. This is going to be close, Kirk.
Swizzy. Absolutely, I think Swizzy's going to have him coming in towards the hairpin. He just took it. I think Jabril just took his tyres a bit too far.
Yeah.
He's going to swing out wide, cut back in for a late apex run up towards the hairpin. He gets down the power down. You don't, and no hint of oversteer at all. He's in behind Jabril.
He's going for it.
To the inside. Makes Swizzy go around the outside. Brakes late. Looks for the cutback. Jabril goes
switch back. Swizzy gets it. Swizzy up into first place. Oh my god.
Swizzy on the final lap of the race. Swizzy makes a cutback at the hairpin to secure the win, or possibly the win. We can't say anything too late yet. We still got half a sector to go, or half a lap to go. But what a race from Swizzy!
I'd say what a final lap.
Possibly writing them off. Yeah, what a final lap. Drama right up to the end of this race. You're thinking a few laps ago, I was like, no, after boxing on pitting on end of lap 26, like, no, there's no way Swizzy could catch him. And Swizzy says, "Hold my beer," and pulls back an absolute monster comeback. Absolute qualifying. One of the best races I think I've ever seen.
I'd say what
on
an
this
end.
game. From absolute nowhere to what an ending! Like absolute nowhere to this.
I was going to say,
Fantastic.
I don't think any of us predicted that, a final lap battle for first place. We were kind of focused on third place, thinking, we're going to have a three-way battle for third place. But yeah, the two up in first. Oh, I feel for Jabril because he spent most of the race in first.
Absolutely. Luke finished taking around up our podium, who could possibly be under investigation for a possible wrong tyre starting. The McManley taking P4. Katie the Kai rounds out our preliminary top 5 before any possible penalties get added. Pedro would be 6, and our last driver on our lead lap would be Lee Racing. Uncharacteristically quiet race from Pedro today.
Yeah, I feel like
so. Obviously, have to take the instinct out of the first corner, kind of ruined the race.
I was going to say that drama on lap 1, turn 1, I feel probably didn't help, because once you do get caught up in those, it was lucky not to get damaged, but obviously it does set you off on the back foot a little bit when you do get caught in that damage. Well, not the damage, the collisions. But yeah, pretty good showing from him. I feel like he'll take it on the chin for this race. He'll come back for Spa fighting, and we'll probably see Pedro finish a lot higher up in the next race for sure.
Absolutely. Who was your driver of the day?
Oh, we'll just see Lee spinning. My driver of the day. Good question. I mean, I don't want to be thingy, but it's between Swizzy, because those last few laps, is Lee reversing over the start finish straight? I could see his reverse lights. Sorry, that threw me off. Yeah, Swizzy with that final few laps. I feel he definitely a deserving driver of the day. Apart from that, I've got to say, Midnight was looking very fast and securing that third place provisionally. But obviously, if it all checks out, what a drive from him.
Yeah, absolutely. If I got it wrong and then Luke doesn't get and did do everything right, I think probably my driver today would be Luke Midnight. You know, starting right down the back there towards P10, P9, P10, and finishing on the podium. You know, you can never complain with that.
Yeah. Apart from that, I'm just looking through the grid order now. Do you want to run through 1st to 8th on our final race positions?
So, right. So, absolutely marvellous. Marvellous understatement. Probably one of the best comebacks I've ever seen. Squizzy smelt blood and he was going for it. He absolutely hunted down Jabril on them softs, and in the end, he got what he deserved. He won the race. You know, last lap overtake. Can you get any more excited than that?
Yeah.
Then we have Jabril. Unlucky Jabril. P2. Fantastic debut drive at the end of the day. You know, to come in very short notice and absolutely dominate this. You know, he's done fantastic. Midnight, fantastic, great. Kept it clean, kept it consistent, and did something a little bit alternative. You know, he did really well. Manley, maybe the hard tyres weren't the best. When he realised both Midnight and Katie Carroll passed, he just went to softs. Probably the best bet. Would have done the same. Had nothing more to lose. Same with Kai. Unfortunately, Kai did not manage to get the fastest lap of the race. On the final lap, even though he did box them fresh softs. But well done, P5. Maybe slightly disappointing compared to where he finished at High Speed Ring, but you know, top 5, can't really complain.
Yeah, big haul of points.
Pedro. Yeah, big haul of points. Then we have Pedro. Obviously, unfortunately, got into some trouble at the start at turn 1. And then obviously it was just a recovery drive from there. P6, you know. Also after that first contact at the first corner, I guess he must have realised that the really fast drivers at the front of the pack were just a bit out of touch. Lee, respectable P7, and same with Simrace dude, P8. You know, shows you that maybe not be the fastest drivers in the league, but if you keep it clean, mistakes to a minimum, you can still salvage a top half result.
Yeah, keep it consistent.
If you want to take down the bottom half, Sarah.
Yeah. So, finishing a lap down with Simrace dude is Fred. I was going to say, under the radar again. Not really much to report back in terms of mistakes. Pretty clean. With the AMG, it's fast round here. Oh, Midnight ended the game. So quickly, Bertie again in the McLaren. Like, big props to him. It looked a little bit more difficult in the McLaren for him round here compared to the high-speed ring, where he managed to be up near the top 5 positions. Deadline again, I think struggling with a little bit of the wheel. So again, respectable P11. Nick in P12 with his first. Thank you for doing the shouts out. Yeah, first race, Nick. Well done. Congratulations on P12. Kudos, I think DNF'd pretty early on. Don't think he's a huge fan of the track. But again, massive congratulations, Kulios, and Stephen again, DNFing. Potentially, maybe this track isn't a fan favourite, but it's out of the way now, it's done. I mean, you can race it again, but if you choose to. But yeah, I think a massive congratulations to all the drivers. You did really, really well. And like I say, it's a difficult track, so don't be too kind of critical of yourself or anything like that. Thank you for the raise, guys. Appreciate it. It did look like a very difficult track out there. A lot of different strategies. But apart from that, we will discuss our driver of the day. Who is your driver of the day, Kirk, for all the events, like the sprint and the feature combined?
Swizzy, absolutely has to be Swizzy. Dominant today. You know, Jabril very close second, but that last lap overtake, I just have to give it to Swizzy. Sorry. I had to talk Jabril's praise as well. You know, fantastic drive today. Second last minute can be as competitive as he was. It takes a lot of skill and a lot of talent, which is something Jabril certainly doesn't lack. Very unlucky today to lose
Yeah, no, 100%. Oh, I've got to say Swizzy as well, because of his outright pace today. He definitely spiced up the race a lot towards the end. We're thinking, I think a P2 is definitely on the cards, and then all of a sudden the pace came out of nowhere. He was charging fast towards Jabril and gave us a last lap battle, which we all like seeing. It's always entertaining. Kirk suddenly went very quiet. Sorry, apologise. Yeah, is there anyone that's from the podium want to jump in the podium room? Feel free. If you do, if you don't, we'll obviously just catch you another time. But apart from that, okie dokie. Yeah, all good. Yeah, a few technical issues today, unfortunately. So I don't think you can hear Kurt very well, but thank you for bearing with me. We'll get them sorted for next time. And yes, I didn't actually share any, didn't manage to save the replays in time, so I will go back to the main race feed. You obviously just see the main menu while we talk to the other guys, so you can hear Kirk a little bit better, because for some reason it just doesn't want to, doesn't want to do it. Hello, should be here now.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, well done, Jabril. Cracking race from Swizzy says to Jabril. Yeah, everyone did a cracking race. I think you should both definitely be proud of your performances. Especially Jabril being that last minute call up. You did really, really well. But yeah.
Yeah, can't sing your praise high enough, Jabril. So Luke, at what point did you believe the podium was on?
It was, to me, it was one of those things. When I saw Kai in trouble, it was more like, ooh, opportunity here. And I saw Matt going for hard tyres, and it was just reeling down the time. But I'd hoped, but I didn't believe until the end, until
And
we crossed the
did,
line.
did you think, given strategy, you could have caught up to Jabril or Swizzy today, or do you think they were just in a league of their own?
Yeah, not in a month for Sundays. They were in a completely different league, had a clear run out front, great aggressive strategies, and yeah, it was impressive to see. I mean, I had a relatively clear race apart from a couple of little errors, but yeah, still 30 seconds behind the other dude. So well done to them.
And final question: did you see anything that happened on the first lap in the feature race? Did you see what happened back there?
I saw it, but it's kind of like a little bit of PTSD. I think I felt it more than I saw it. Just there was a couple of cars that shot down the inside. A couple of us were very, very lucky not to get any form of damage, but we got through it and carried on. But it
No
was very, very
worries.
slippery
Thanks,
down
Swizzy.
into the first corner. There was just about there wasn't quite 1 bar of uh, of water on the track, but it was clear for lap 2 onwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any questions for Luke, Sarah?
Oh, I mean, you were front row seats to the battle for P3, obviously. How did it feel when you were racing Kai and Mac?
I felt like I was in the wrong place, but I felt very, very lucky to be there, and it was that thing. I went in with a strategy to be faster towards the end, and it paid off. But I'm just happy to be racing some good dudes, and it's been a good race actually. And shame the sprint didn't go very well for me, but this stuff happens. But I really enjoyed that feature, and it's been a pleasure to race everyone.
No, you did really well.
Thank
And
Thank you.
KD the
thank
Kai
you for your
says
time, Luke.
water on the track. Did you feel water on the track there midnight? Or just grip
Yeah, there
levels
was
being low?
into the first corner. I think I did see the in-game moisture bar. That was very. It was some moisture on track into that first corner, but I'll have to go back and check the stream to be certain.
Yeah, we weren't quite sure because it kept going like it was going to rain and then the sun would come out. So we can never tell if it was or if it wasn't raining. But yeah, definitely a replay to watch again. Yeah, we saw you catching the top three pretty quickly, and we thought, I think Midnight's in the chance of getting a P3 here. But we were concerned about Swizzy and Mac being close behind you, but you just stormed away. So massive congratulations to you. And we now got Swizzy in the room. If you want to ask him
Thank
any
you very much.
questions,
I'll leave you
Kirk,
to it.
and catch you soon, Midnight.
So,
Cheers.
hello, Swizzy. Fantastic race today, mate. You did very well. You did very well.
Um, yeah, thanks. I'm still shaking, to be honest. I don't know what to say.
At what point did you realise after that last pit stop for the softs? When did you realise that? Oh my, I might actually be able to catch Jabril. And at what point did you like go from it from the beginning?
To be honest, I didn't think that I'm gonna catch him. I was already like settling in and taking P2. Um, yeah, maybe last lap it seemed like his tires died. I don't know if they died, but it looked like it. But I still, yeah, I wasn't thinking about winning. Like, I know how hard it's to overtake on that track. But yeah, cracking race.
And then again, same with Luke said he felt a bit of moisture on the track on the first few laps. Did you feel that from the start as well, or?
Not really. I mean, I just tried to take very careful lines anyways and save tires as much as I can. And yeah, maybe, but I was also driving quite carefully on the couple first laps.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, we could see it on stream that the moisture bar hadn't quite gone up to the first bar, but it was definitely slightly wet. There's like a little bit of dampness to the track.
Yeah.
No worries. Anything you want to ask Swizzy, Sarah?
I suppose it really just kind of boils down to that last few laps. Again, I know you said you didn't think it was on the cards, but how do you feel now that you got that first place again? Visiting, you seem to be quite a frequent visitor to the first step of the podiums. How do you feel after that race?
I'm kind of speechless. Like Gabriel drove a fantastic race. Like I knew that this gonna be probably the hardest track for my car or our car, GTR. But I still knew that we can fight for the win. But yeah, Gabriel had great pace from the qualifying, even with the soft tires. But the gap was over half a second, so I knew that the race gonna be tough. And I kind of fucked up my, oh sorry my language,
So
but my strat, and I realized that I had like 13-40 laps to go and I didn't want to use hard tires, so I also knew that my soft not gonna last, so I just did double soft stint, and yeah, I was never gonna think that it's gonna work. But I guess luck was on my side today. But yeah,
I was going to
shout
say
out to Gabriel, great race.
massive congratulations to you. We were watching the battle and the lap times come down and down. I was going to say Kirk was first to spot it, and we were both excited to see that you were catching really quickly. And like you say, the tyre strategies from everyone, it looked quite hard because Mac behind you went on the hards, and we thought he might be able to, the longevity of those tyres might be able to go a little bit longer. But it proved, I think, for all of the tyres, that the tyre wear around this track was pretty horrendous. But how are you looking forward to Spa? Got a plan as yet, or you're going to start practicing from now?
I mean, it's my favorite track. I feel like it's my only very strong track, so I have very high expectations, but we will see next week.
Yeah, anything else from you, Kirk, before we end?
No. I think congratulations, Swizzy. Very fantastic overtaking the last lap. That cutback. Yeah, best race I've seen on GT7 for a while. Can we just give it up for Swizzy? Fantastic driver, mate.
But yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
joining us,
thank you,
Susie,
guys.
and speak to you next week.
Yep. Thank you. See you.
Right, any last minute words from you, Kirk, before we obviously close the stream and look forward to next week at Spa?
Yeah, next week at Spa. Yes, I think again, if this was a good Swizzy track and Swizzy can pull a race off like that, I can't wait to see what he can do at Spa. I mean, yeah, I think probably, in my personal opinion, just because of the drama in the last lap, a lot more. Well, the race was much more interesting than what was at High Speed Ring. Although High Speed Ring was again another very interesting race that I would recommend check it out.
Oh, 100%.
I say bring on next week, Sarah. I don't know what you say.
Yeah, we got we got a visitor into the podium room. We got Mac. Yeah, we can do an interview, Mac, if you want to. If you're there.
I was not sure if I was allowed or not.
Yeah, so good.
I was.
How did you find the race?
Yeah.
Or both races?
That sprint race, I feel like I cheated the system, and then the endurance race, I made all of the incorrect strategy calls. So, yeah, I think I was like a guinea pig for them hard tires, and I think everyone realized after I went on them that they should not go on the hard tires.
And so it did look
Yeah.
pretty hard.
I
That wasn't a pun.
Oh, it was
I didn't-
horrible.
It did look quite drifty towards the end. Before you went onto the softs. Just to explain your race to us. How did you feel? It went.
Well, the endurance, like us, it went okay because I went and started on softs because I forgot the tire wear was different in qualifying than the race. I was like, wow, the softs are not wearing at all, so I'll just use softs. And then I started on them. The track felt fine at the start. I don't know. The moisture thing, I think, was just people because they were starting on mediums and had less grip than the sprint start. They thought it was because of the rain, but I felt fine. Um, and then I went on hards instead of mediums because I thought the hards would be better, but they weren't. And then I went on softs again, and I got held up by like Kai at the end trying to catch midnight, so it like really hurt my chances of podium.
Yeah, I was gonna say we thought that yourself, Kai, and Midnight were all in contention for that third place in the feature race, and it was good to see you, all three of you, battling. Kirk, do you have any questions for Mac?
Yeah. At what point did you realise that like the hard tyre probably wasn't the best tyre to be on?
Probably as soon as I saw, I think it was, what was it, after I pitted, like, I think it was Kai passed me. And then he just started storming off into the distance. And I think he was on like mediums at that time. And he was after pitting like 5 laps before me. And I was like, yo, I'm so screwed. There's no way I'm getting these tires like quick enough. And I was dropping like at least 1.5 seconds a lap to like Jabril and the guys up front. I was like, I kind of just had to stay out there because like if I pitted again, it would just defeat the point of going on the hard tires. Now, the only thing it did help me with is that I could go on the softs for like the last 10 laps, because I could hold out that long on the hard tires. But that was the only real like benefit of them.
Yeah.
And do you also feel that obviously coming towards the end of the race, your soft tyres wore out a lot more than Midnight's tyres did? Do you feel that you maybe boxed too early for the softs, or do you think in the end you made the right decision?
No, me and Midnight boxed on the same lap. It's just he was not trying to get past Kai as aggressively as I was. I was like getting very, very annoyed because it was like I was saying, I was stuck behind him for like 3 laps at least, and then he pitted as soon as I got past him, and I was like really, really annoyed about it. But I was getting like, I was trying to go all sorts of different lines getting past him, and I think it worn my tires out way more than if I was just trying to chase Midnight for the end of the race. But we pitted on the same lap, so it's either it could be car difference or just that I got stuck behind Kai. But I think I pitted at the right time.
No worries. Thank you for your time, Manley.
Yeah, no, thank you for popping in.
Thank you.
And good luck for next week around Spa.
See you next week. Yeah. See you next week.
See ya. Cool. So, anything you want to add, Kirk, before we run through the next week's track?
No, nothing more. I think it was a fantastic race from everyone. Very unlucky for Jabril again to just barely miss out on the win by half a lap. Other than that, bring on next week.
Yeah. So you probably won't be able to hear Kirk from now because of my weird settings. So we'll move on to the event championship calendar. So round 2 done. Autopolis done. A very difficult track, but like Kirk said, very, very good drive from everyone. Different strategies proved for a good race. But next week we're on to Spa. Now I think this is definitely a fan favourite. I think a lot of us have a lot of experience around Spa, and on several games like GT7, GT Sport and F1. So hopefully will prove to be a fun race. I will be racing and Midnight will be commentating. So again, we swap roles. I hit the track. Midnight's on the comms box. I feel like he's a little bit jealous that I get to drive Spa and he doesn't. But I look forward to it, and I look forward to being back on track. Apart from that, like I said, I think everyone should be proud of themselves. Difficult track. No barriers to kind of catch people if something goes wrong. So for everyone to mostly stay on track, stay consistent, I think it was definitely rewarded tonight. But yeah, apart from that, we will end the stream here. Like I said, sorry for the technical difficulties and not being able to hear Kirk at some points. But I will get that sorted for next time that I host. But apart from that, thank you everyone for being patient. Hope you enjoyed the racing. And get practicing for Spa. I'll see you out on track next week. And yeah. I'll just